Good evening, everyone. Councilwoman Rossetti, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
Good. All right. We can get started. Good evening, everyone. We'd like to call this virtual Health and Human Services Committee meeting to order for today, September 2nd, 2025. My name is Councilman TJ Clark. I serve as the chair for the committee, and I'm joined by Majority Leader Rossetti, who is a voting member. We are broadcasting live from HPA-TV.org and all of our cable news and social media platforms, Comcast, Xfinity, Channel 96, Frontier, channel 6032, and also on Facebook, Apple TV, Roku, and all those others that we are streaming from. We have one item on our agenda. I'm sorry for not mentioning Happy Labor Day to everyone, and hope that you all had a great summer and great holiday weekend. There is only one item on our agenda tonight. Apologize for item 2.2. That was a technical error. Those appointments were postponed, so therefore there was no referrals to the Health and Human Services Committee. So our one item tonight is item 2.1, which is a presentation from Director Jackson Shaheed, and would like to welcome, he just popped up, Councilman John Gill, who is a voting member as well. And oops, lost Councilman. There he is. And we also are joined by Attorney Osborne from our Corporation Counsel. And do we have, yes, Director Jackson Shaheed is here. So we'll give her a minute to get herself together. And then we will have a presentation about the director. Attorney Osborne, how are you? How have you been?
I've been a good councilman. Happy Labor Day to you
Thank you,
and
sir.
all the other members of the council.
We understand you've lost Attorney Coombs and your assistant corp counsel as well. Are we down two bodies now?
Yes, but we've made a promotion today. Lori's going to be the deputy.
Well, nice.
Yeah,
Congrats.
we're moving on.
Now we still got two openings in down lower on. Still,
Yep, I guess we're going to get to those next.
well, good luck with them.
Laura's a great addition.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So if you could just remind me, Councilman Clark, what our presentation tonight will be on?
The presentation would be on everything that your department, your team has been working on since our last committee meeting. What just give you apologize if that was not properly communicated to your team, but what we're looking for is, what if you ever attended the Quality Life and Public Safety Committee meeting, the public, not sorry, not the public works, the fire chief, the police chief, and the director of ES&T normally provides us with a presentation as to what has happened within the last 30 days of their department, what they've been working on, any type of initiatives. And then after that, we engage in a Q&A. Other committees have done the same format. So we're just looking really to see what HHS, the great things that HHS has been doing. And then my colleagues, if I know them well, they definitely would have some questions as to what's going on in our city as it relates to health and human services. And I do have some other, after your presentation, I do have some questions regarding senior centers that I would like to talk to you about.
Sure. So I guess we can go ahead and start with the funding piece. As you all may know, that the funding for most of our grants are federal. And so we've kind of been up in the air with the continuation of funding for a variety of grants. And we just received notice that two of our grants that you know, we were waiting for a response from the CDC, let us know that we will be funded for year 3. So that's something that's definitely beneficial. And that was the REACH grant. So that's the physical education and nutrition program. And the OD2A, which is the Opioids Data to Action grant, which we have received the funding for year 3. So we're really excited to go ahead and be able to continue that work. Our Welcome Home grant is coming to a close. We did get an extension because we did have some, funding that we still had available on the grant. So we got some extension to go ahead and close that grant out. So we'll be doing that in the next 90 days. In terms of programming, we have a variety of different events that we have sent over for the fall to the marketing and communications division so that we can get maximum support on that. And we are also looking to launch a community education series, which is basically a series that we will begin that really speaks to root causes of a lot of the conditions in our community, and just doing a life education series, as you could call it. And just an example of that is, for instance, one of the courses that we will go ahead and teach during this series is something such as financial literacy. Because that is very important. We have lots of residents that come into our office, especially using the relocation program. And when we talk about finding new apartments, although we know the rents are high, people also don't understand how to budget, right? So they come and they, will say that they can afford something that's, twice as much as they can actually afford to live. And so we want to just make sure that people are equipped with basic life skills. So we're going to go ahead and launch that this fall. So that's really exciting for us. And we want to make sure that we reach multiple communities. So it will not be in the North End only. It will be at various locations throughout the city. Once we go ahead and solidify those locations, we'll go ahead and have that information put out to the residents via our marketing and communications department at the mayor's office. I know you had a question, Councilman, concerning the senior centers. Do you want me to just roll right into that?
Yeah, you can roll right into that, and then I'll just have some follow-up questions from there.
Sure. So in terms of the senior center, I know that everyone may be aware that the North End Senior Center has been currently operated by HHS. There was a previous operator, and we were notified that the operator would no longer be able to provide services to our seniors, and that was during summertime. So HHS did step in. We wanted to make sure that our seniors continued to receive services, made sure that the doors were open. We understood that during summertime, senior centers not only serve as just a place for socialization, but also can be a source of cooling. So a cooling center as well as a nutrition center. A lot of meals that seniors may get at the senior center may be the only ones that they get during the day. So we wanted to make sure that services continued. So HHS Senior Services Division made sure that, they learned operations and that they, continued to operate that center. And so we have done that thus far. And we wanted to make sure that, there's a continuity of service while an operator was being thought of. So as of right now, we continue to operate that center until, further notice.
Okay, so great segue. Because so it is your understanding that an operator has not been selected yet to operate the North End Senior Center.
No.
Okay. Good. I'm glad that we're having this conversation because I was told otherwise. that that your team has been now tasked with operating the senior center moving forward, and staff has from your team has moved in. I would say use the words moved in to the senior center to take up space for its offices. So can you just
That is actually true, but
okay?
but I did not want to say that an operator had been chosen. We have went ahead and said yes, we will go ahead and continue services for the senior center. I think that there is a benefit for us to being in there. I mean, obviously, us going in the beginning during the summer was something that we did not anticipate. It was something that, happened to us. Unfortunately, the operator who was currently in there, was not able to provide that service any longer. And so it was needed for us to just go ahead and, jump in and do what we needed to do for our seniors. And so I think whilst being in that situation, we realized that it would be a benefit for our center or HHS to be in the senior center. I think that the senior centers period is under HHS, but we have a very interesting model here in the city of Hartford where we have two senior centers that are I guess senior centers run by the city, but they're subcontractors, and there are two senior centers that are run by private organizations. So very interesting model. I think that with HHS being being the primary operator of a senior center, not only allows us to kind of control hours, we can also kind of flesh out programming. We can also use the facility, for things like, for instance, while we were operating the senior center this summer, we were asked if we could keep the building open longer for a cooling center for other residents as well. And that was something that we were able to do. So, there are a lot of benefits for, the city to operate or HHS to operate, the senior center. And, we already have a division called Senior Services where we literally provide all of these programs, and they're geared towards, the senior population. I mean, not everyone, who's a senior gets renter's rebate. There's also people who are not seniors that get renter's rebate. But a lot of times, most of our population that receives that benefit are the senior community. So it is a benefit for us to now have those services in the actual building where the majority of the population who receives those services, are there to get them.
Great. So I guess that's the plan moving forward until whenever. And so all the other services that were happening under the previous operator are still taking place, such as
Yeah.
the senior trips, the nutrition program, the great food that they love to eat there, and all the other activities.
Yeah, so all the activities, are the same. The subcontractors that were originally in the facility with the previous operator, we extended all their contracts. So we are currently using all those individuals. So there's a continuity of services. We would like to improve on their activities. Not saying that we want to take away from any of their trips or anything, but add a spin on the activities that they're currently doing. Like, for instance, there's not a lot of outdoor activities that the seniors are doing. And we think that we should introduce those things. We think that, with the seniors, we could be doing more cross programming with the recreation center. So maybe having like a pool day for seniors, right? Or doing things like exploring some of the parks where there's a, walking day or, a nature walk, or, something where it's a spin on healthier lifestyles. And so we want to go ahead and, introduce a lot of that programming to the senior centers.
Okay, good. I do know there was a partnership before the sports and rec department was enacted where there was a day at Park Memorial that the seniors were able to go over there for swimming. I'm not sure if that's still taking place, but I do like that idea regarding outside activity and movement, especially aquatics, that can help them become more active. The activity, even if it's walking on a treadmill, is something that they can benefit from.
Absolutely. And we also introduced Zumba. So we did have a Zumba instructor come in and try some Zumba with the seniors. So that was different. They were intrigued by the Zumba. So we're gonna try some of those activities as well.
Great. I do understand, and hopefully the information was given to me right. That our dominoes players that they love has been relocated. Is that true? The space where they play dominoes.
Um, so so it is still in the center, but yes, it was relocated. Yes, but it is still in the center.
Okay.
That
Okay.
activity has not left the center.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So just a different space. Okay. All right. And
Yes,
that space was now being occupied by HHS staff.
it is. Yes.
Okay. And so who was your point of contact on your team now that is running the senior center?
That would be Mr. Claude Trapp.
Claude. Oh,
He is the senior project manager for senior services.
Claude is still around. All right. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes, Claude has been here for many years.
Yes, yeah. It's like a couple decades at least. So okay. A familiar face and name. All right, great. So that's great now, so that I know that can anybody that has any questions, anything regarding senior center operations, I can refer them over to Claude. Are they doing renters rebate at the senior center this go around?
Yes, they are. They're
Oh,
doing renters rebate. They're doing the dial-a-ride program is there as well. Um, and hopefully we hope to bring on a few more services as well. I know that they have a nurse, um, but we're looking to add a social worker as well. So I think that the seniors, especially in their years, they go through a lot of things in their personal life. So I think having a social worker in there, someone for them to feel comfortable talking to, as well as helping them with providing services or linkage to care. So, for instance, if someone, needed, said they needed food stamps, someone, who could help them fill out applications and maybe get them, assistance with linkage to care would be a great addition.
perfect. How many total people now from your team are located at the senior center?
So it is Claude Trapp. It is the program manager for Renters Rebate and Dial-A-Ride, which is NG Lee. And I believe there are two other, one might be a part-timer and a full-time interviewer. And those individuals work primarily with the Renters Rebate program.
Okay. Okay. And
Hmm.
are they now because I realize that that is a city building. Are they now permanently placed there, or that's just temporarily?
So they would be permanently placed there.
Okay.
So for the senior services division, they will be permanently placed there because I know that we're set to move on Albany and Woodland. But the senior services division will be permanently placed there.
Okay. Is this more so
So
to
every day they show up to work, the seniors would see the same faces.
gotcha.
Hmm.
So is this more strategically aligned in preparation for the move over from Coventry Street over to Albany Woodland? Kind of like a phase out process?
I mean, well, I wouldn't say specifically a phase out process. I mean, it just because it wasn't something that we were planning on doing, to operate the senior center. I think that that was just the best thing, was to have the employees there in the senior center, and especially with, no operator, there needed to be consistent staff there in the center. So it just made sense to have their offices move to that location, since they're doing that, that type of programming anyway.
Okay. All right. Cool. Um, and one, I guess I would say this one final thing for me. Um, Back in June, I think it was June, we passed a resolution called Health in All Policies. Um, can you have
Mhm.
somebody reach out to my office so that we can have a conversation regarding that and putting some type of task force, a think tank together regarding that? It's located in the resolve clause.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. All right. I've occupied enough time, my dear council colleagues, Councilman Gill or Councilwoman Rossetti. Okay, Councilwoman Rossetti.
Thank you, Councilman Clark. Hi, Director. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Hey, I'm really curious about the literacy, as someone who deals with that in my day job. Um,
Mhm.
who are you going to have teach it? And um, I know you said various locations. How are you going to teach it? So who's going to do it? Are we outsourcing it? Do we have someone in-house? And because we do it sometimes too, and I'd just be interested in who you're going to use and how you're going to do it.
So what we were planning on doing was doing it in-house. We were going to utilize the employees that we have at the city. I think that it's important for people to, have familiar faces. And, when we're talking about HHS or, the city in general, I think just having city employees do it would be the best thing. But the financial literacy portion, we had already spoken to Julian, right? Who better to do budgeting than Julian? We talked to Julian about it, and he said that he had a really great curriculum. But we already, I've already done this prior. And so it's really just about the information doesn't have to be a specific curriculum. It's just information that we've noticed over years, when residents come in, that they just really don't have. And a lot of that, really contributes to some of those root causes of like chronic conditions. So obviously we talk about, lack of education. A lot of residents, in a lot of urban cities either don't have high school diplomas, or, they have some, either a high school diploma or some college, but they still don't have a lot of the um, life skills to understand things like credit, how credit works. When looking for an apartment, like what's the best ratio you should be using. You really shouldn't get an apartment that's 1,800 if your household income is $2,500, because eventually you're just going to be back in utilizing the same service, or you end up being evicted and then coming and looking for, some sort of a assistance program. And so I think, just building on some of those skills, teaching people. My dad always said, teach somebody how to fish, right?
Yep.
So that
Yep.
they'll always, be able to eat, instead of giving somebody the fish. And so that's really what this education series is. Also, we wanted to include, healthy homes. So that program was basically taught to individuals a long time ago through the lead program. And it basically teaches people how to keep their homes clean, right? So that you can, um, reduce, vermin, and also reduce, certain, home issues. So just, teaching some of those basics in a formal way, I think is something that really is beneficial for the community.
No, I've
And
been
where,
surprised just by the discussions on budgets, how amazing, that can be for someone
Mhm.
just to, when it's really laid out, in black and white like that. It really can be so beneficial. So I thank you, and I'd be interested to see how Julian does.
Okay, but if you have any suggestions, or someone who would like to volunteer
Yeah,
to also assist
okay,
us with
Director,
some of
we
those.
use I could connect you. We use the Nutmeg Credit Union comes in if you want to talk offline.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Gale.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, Director. You mentioned the Albany Woodland facility, and I just wondering if you have a quick update. How's the construction coming, and what's anticipated occupancy date for you if you have one?
From what I see, it's looking good. I mean, I do go past the building to check on it myself. I also, speak with our project manager, periodically to see where we are. I do know that the date that I was given is around February or March of 2026. However, that is can be ambitious, especially, when, there may be a lot of delays in shipping of products. So, with construction, it's always flexible. I mean, we're ready. So whenever they're ready to move and, whenever, you know, um, they tell us we have the green light, then we're gonna pack our things and move on over. But that's the date that we were given. But obviously with construction, there's always, could be some extension.
Right, understood. Well, thank you for that. Your department also oversees the licensing for all of our food establishments and licensing for the nail salons as well. And I don't know. I think for the next meeting of this committee, for the next time that the chair asks for a report, I think it would be very interesting for us to get a report from you as to how the inspection process is working. How many, how many of these facilities are you able to inspect on a monthly basis? How many violations are we finding? Just a few statistics give us a little insight as to how we're doing it on that. How many A restaurants, B restaurants, or D restaurants we have, and likewise with the nail salon. So I don't know how big a task that would be, but subject to the chair here, I think it would be interesting information for us to have from you in a report next time. Is that something that sounds feasible?
Sure, that's something that we could do. I can say that there has already been progress on the nail salons. We've kind of put together some sort of an internal task force that has worked on pamphlets for education. Also, we have put an actual inspector in charge of that program, kind of like a cosmetic program for licensing, because it is a little bit of a different area than just food establishments. So I think that, you'll be pleasantly surprised on the progress that we have made. And in terms of, inspection process, absolutely no problem with discussing that. I will say that in terms of grading our restaurants, we really don't do that anymore across the board, right? We don't do like the A and D, and we don't really give restaurants grades anymore. But what we do according to the new FDA codes is we just, either they have failed the inspection or they have passed the inspection. And then, the report is done with, a certain amount of violations. I will say in the city overall, any urban city, it's interesting, right? We probably, on an annual basis, the amount of restaurants that we have in the city with the amount of inspectors that we have, you're never going to, inspect every single restaurant, annually. That, usually does not happen. But, license, all of our restaurants, go through a process before they're open. They do have an initial inspection, and, we are working on, and we have a process for everyone being relicensed. So in terms of, how Hartford is looking, we're not looking too bad, when we are tapered up against, the other larger municipalities. I think that, the staff that we have, they're really committed, they're really passionate, they're extremely knowledgeable about what they're doing, and the relationships that they're building with shop owners. So I think that that also helps, in making sure, that people meet the requirements. But there are some challenges that we face. And some of the challenges that we face are, people who have been in Hartford for a very long time, and they're not used to, ordinances changing, and we never had to do this before, and no one's ever closed me down because of this particular violation. And so we're trying to just make sure that the message is clear that, hey, Hartford is a place that when people come here to eat, everyone deserves the same service. So no matter if you're going to Glastonbury or if you're coming to Hartford, it should be the same requirements. Right. So, you don't want restaurants owners thinking that just because they're in Hartford that they can stay open when they have, far too many violations. And then they clearly know that that would not be the case if they were right over the line in West Hartford. So we want to make sure that we're letting them know as well that we want to make sure that our residents are receiving the same level of service and same quality, right, when it comes to food safety. And
Well,
that's a message that we're really making sure that is clear.
yeah, that's great. I mean, we certainly appreciate that. And I love the way you put it as well. There's too often, and we have the same problem with the drivers who drive very well when they go to Wethersfield, but are horrible as soon as they come back into Hartford, and that type of thing. So if you could, some statistics would be, I think would be helpful for us. How many new applications, how many inspections, and what was the pass-fail rate, that type of thing. That'd be great. And I know that before COVID hit, we had passed a single-use plastic bag ban, as did the state of Connecticut. And everybody had kind of gotten with the program right away, but then COVID hit, and everybody, well, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people sort of slid back into old habits. I don't know to what extent the health department is out there re-educating these small store owners as to that, but if you could talk about that, not tonight, but at the next time next time Chair asks for an update. If you could talk about that, I'd like to know where we stand with that kind of thing. Last thing,
Absolutely.
Last thing I'll just throw out there, not that you're in a position to necessarily do it, but I certainly love the fact that my father-in-law is 91 years old, and he plays pickleball with a group of seniors. He happens to be in Wethersfield where they do this. So if you ever get near a pickleball court with your seniors, you may find some of them would be interested in it. Because any age can do it, it turns out.
Okay. All right. So we'll see about pickleball.
Thank you,
Mr. Chair, I just have to, for equal time, Councilman Gale knows I'm going to say this. My friend is a surgeon, and he says that there's so many injuries from.
This is Debbie Downer over here. I mean,
I'm just saying. He says they get out there, and I think Councilman Gale has stock in pickleball. That's all I have to say.
No, I mean, it's just amazing when you leave this city. The whole country has embraced this, and we are like nowhere. And it is astounding. Bloomfield has two separate large recreation facilities that are solidly pickleball that are being utilized like on a 24/7 basis. Anyway, I don't want to push it, but I just throw it out there.
To that point, I think we do have a pickleball court over in Colt Park.
One?
That's you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember going to a ribbon cutting last year
No,
or
that was football.
or
Football.
football. Okay, all right.
Yeah, not pickleball.
Thank you,
But
thank you,
we will get there. I mean,
thank
people
you for
will
correcting
get
me.
there because
But
it really is taking over the country.
yeah,
But
but I'll tell you this: in my travels this weekend, I happened to be in the great city of Stanford. And as we were just perusing downtown in their town center and going into their mall area, guess what occupied a looks like to be a former department store? Pickleball.
pickleball recreation, yeah.
There's a spot for
And
pickleball.
the Phoenix Insurance, we do have one pickleball court in Hartford. The old Phoenix Insurance Company, the boat building,
Okay.
who it is, it's Munich Re, Nassau Re, somebody that occupies that building. They have just built, and you can see it from the plaza, you can look down, but it's only for employees. But they have built one pickleball court that's down below now that you can see from the plaza level.
All right. We got to have it with balance so
There
that
you go.
there won't be a lot of injuries. All right. Any other questions from my colleagues for Director Jackson Shahid? None? All right. Um, Madam Director, do you have anything for us?
I do not have any questions for you. Thank you so much.
All right. Just one more thing too, I want to discuss with you. I had this idea a few weeks ago, regarding a move campaign. So that is a move campaign is more so of movement. I know a few presidents ago, we were inspired by First Lady Michelle Obama to move in activities and eating right. Um, and when I was in the gym, I thought about this idea. I talked to a professional trainer who was on board, but I want to talk to you more about doing something for 2026 with the city of Hartford and all of its residents.
Okay.
Like in a
Okay. Sounds
big
very
day or something, Councilman?
Yeah, so it would be, I'm thinking, like, I just thought about it as Hartford 100,
Yeah,
100 days
yeah.
of movement. And then there will be activities spaced out. We have partners on board led by HHS and Sports and Rec Department,
There could
and
be teams, maybe.
teams. And then it can be like a leading up to a culmination of a one grand day in the city. So
okay.
that's my thoughts. I'll share more when we get together to meet and try to flush this out so we can get something on the books and get this rolled out.
Okay. So that would definitely work for us, especially since we do have the REACH grant, so which is all about movement.
Great,
And we did do a similar campaign last year.
great, great. I am I am, as you can say, I'm and as you can see, sorry, and more so my colleagues knows this. I'm a big movement guy and becoming I want our city to be more healthy and health centric as well. So, and that's all levels of being healthy.
Okay.
All right.
We're on board.
All right. Sounds great. Attorney Osborne, do you have anything for us?
No, Councilman.
Okay. All right. Since we have no other business to discuss, this HHS virtual committee meeting is now adjourned. Thank you very much and have a good night. Take care.
Thank you.
Good night, all.
Thank
Going to
you.
find some pickleball.
Good night.
Good night.
I'm going to try to play some tennis.